I'm joining y'all now on that, being a progressed Pisces sun now.
How does that feel for you?
Noise, lots of noise or chaotic noise. Noise that's just not in some kind of
I can't do it.
perceivable order of some sort where I can actually hear myself think or just hear silence. It's driving me nuts. Like I'm to the point where I don't like competing with sound. I don't want to compete with it.
And also,
nobody takes apologies gracefully. Nobody presents themselves gracefully. The grace of being the public figure is crumbling.
Yes. Like Cardi B was saying, remember, I don't know if you remember, she was saying how she was disgusted with the algorithm change.
Yes.
The reality is, a lot of people were a little, angry about the algorithm change on Instagram. But Saturn Aquarius is the people just taking responsibility. It's the people being led, with knowledge.
Takes apologies gracefully. Nobody presents themselves gracefully. The grace of being the public figure is crumbling.
Yes. Like Cardi B was saying, remember, I don't know if you remember, she was saying how she was disgusted with the algorithm change.
Yes.
And, the reality is, a lot of people were a little, angry about the algorithm change on Instagram. But, there's a Saturn-Uranus square, which means that Saturn Aquarius is, the people just taking responsibility. It's the people being led, with knowledge and squaring Uranus is, Uranus is knowledge too. So people have to take into consideration, there's a whole energy shift going on as far as the collective goes. Aquarius is the collective, squaring Uranus, which is its ruler. So I just think a lot of people, maybe what you were talking about this time 5 years ago, it was something that people were tuned in and tapped into, but things change. The climate changes. There's shifts in the climate. So maybe what you said today, what you said yesterday, it may have worked yesterday. You try that today, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? As much, I'm not trying to say the algorithm change hasn't been, it wasn't drastic. Like some people thought it was, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think? Like sometimes what you did in 2016, it doesn't really affect people the same way in 2022. You know what I mean?
Yo, you're absolutely right. The algorithm change is apparent across social media. And Meta in general is just like, especially for the spiritual community, there's so much scamming. They don't help the business owners to protect themselves from scammers. But what they're doing is they're pushing us down in the algorithm. Like they've said this out their mouth. Like I met with somebody from Meta for a podcasting program and they said this shit. And I'm just like, okay, so what are we supposed to do? If you didn't already have a following and you're trying to grow one, it's going to be more difficult if you're in that space. But then for these other spaces, we've got a lot of shit going on with that too. Is it particular to Instagram? Was that what y'all were saying?
It's particular, I think, everywhere as far as the algorithm changes, but I believe it's more apparent when it comes to Meta platforms because that's where the majority of the people are. Okay. And I know that you remember me on Facebook. It was my regular thing for like 2 years to try to get people to diversify their social media. Yeah. Try this app. Look, I've tried this one. This is what it does. Yada, yada, yada. To start moving over. Because what is becoming apparent with this algorithm is that they are really focusing towards business, period. They're adding the shops. The changing towards making it so that you're buying things or ads like we were talking about previously before we got on here, that if you're not paying your way to be noticed, and you're not going to be. And that's with the Uranus and Saturn, because Uranus in Taurus says pay for internet. It pay for your social group, money for your social group, money for that, with it squaring Saturn, which is business on the internet. You're going to have to pay for it, and show that you're legit through your money. Money is becoming the validation for being on social media now, which doesn't help those. And I think maybe it's like a double-edged sword. If you have the money, then you can legitimize yourself to push yourself out there. But these scammers also have money, so they're they're validating themselves through the same method, which is competing against the person who is just an authentic, I don't have that kind of money to invest in advertisement, I just want my business to grow organically. The organic I want to grow is going out of the window. The organic I want to be seen is going out of the window. Because either you're going to pay for it or you're going to get scammed. These are just some of the things that I've noticed. What do we do about that, though?
I don't know what we do.
So you don't feel that there is a likelihood that someone can influence or connect to the public just by virtue of what they are generating, content that they're generating in the public, or whatever they're creating, whatever they're doing or building. You feel like now you have to, because what's crazy is that if that were true, that means that people primarily out here don't have organic support. Mm-hmm. Which is, a sort of scary thought. I mean, if you're big on authenticity, with respect to just really making sure you have your galvanized folks, who really just, believe in your message, or whether, you could be pushing a religious message, you could be pushing some sort of product, you could be in the beauty community, but if people are not organically supporting, the people that they look up to and respect, I think, I'm bring some astrology into it. I think Neptune retrograde is causing a lot of us to look at what we have believed about what we see, as far as people we look up to, respect, what we have believed as far as what the media told us was real about, different current events. I think Neptune retrograde is really, pulling the curtain back on, especially in Virgo season, when the sun, was opposite Neptune, and Mercury, had retrograded back into Virgo a second time. It was like, hey, Mercury retrograde in Virgo, opposite Pisces, Neptune Pisces. You guys want to see all the lies that you believed? Like, that's what was going on, so.
Yeah, I think that what Janét said earlier, like at the beginning, if you were growing organically, it worked for you. There were a lot of people who literally became known to the public eye just making content, and their audiences supported it. And I believe that Neptune, that pulling back what the lies are, is that this is no longer the case. It is not the same, and we can see that just by simple things. Think about how big name rappers get put on, or big name musicians get put on now. It used to be that you could just grind in the streets, but you can grind in the streets all day now. But if somebody who isn't established doesn't vet you, you're not getting pushed to the front first. Think about how Ice Spice got pushed up. She'd been doing music for years. That song wasn't her first song. I went back and looked and checked out her repertoire. She's been doing music for years. It took Drake saying, I fuck with that. All of a sudden, she's everywhere. Guerrilla music for years. It took Cardi B recognizing her for it to come to fruition. Even when, what's his name? Old Town Road. It had its little Nas X. Right. His big jump into being recognized was what? Who vetted him? That country singer.
Oh, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Vetted him. And we're seeing a lot of what it is that there's another step that's been added to the algorithm. There's another step to being grown organically. And nobody wants to mention that because they want to hold on to the faith, idea, and hope that if I just grind really, really hard, that I'm going to get there. And the problem is that information moves too quickly and people move too fast, that if it doesn't happen fast enough, you can find that these individuals are demoralized, which is the Saturn in Aquarius. Typically, to grow organically is going to take you years, just as much as it was with any other business, or even being a rap artist, or even being a celebrity or a star. If you look at all their beginnings, they had 10 years in the game before they got noticed. Now it's, well, I have to get noticed right now. I have to get noticed right now. You hear so many people, they're posted on the Shade Room or the Neighborhood Talk, and everyone's going, who is this individual? Where did they come from? There's
it's always, but you know what? That's just par for the course. That's Saturn. Saturn is the big boss. 10th house is public. Somebody has to, kind of, or Pluto, which is the transference of power. Yeah. Somebody has to always co-sign you or bring you in and say, hey, everybody. Well, what happens is something happens in your chart, you know what I mean, where, your 10th house is lit, or there's some sort of Plutonian influence transit, and somebody co-signs you, like you said, somebody brings attention to what you're doing, But I think that's just par for the course. But what happens is I don't think that people can necessarily make what you're doing quality. Like at some point, like you have to be delivering. You know what I'm saying? Because there have been people who said, this is my protege, or I just signed this person to my label, and nothing happened. Like the public just wasn't. You know what I mean? Wasn't really into it. It
feels like ringtone era a little bit. And I TikTok has greatly influenced that. It's the ringtone era. I remember oh my God, the headaches that we had when albums went out the window. It's no longer about creating these big projects that you spent time on and energy and tried to make it the best you could. It was, can you make a ringtone? Can you make something that we could put on our phones? And now it's moved the ringtone era to TikTok. Can you make something on TikTok that captures the eye, where you remember 6 lines of that song and you don't remember anything else about it, but they get viral activity. And I think that's also another issue to discuss when it comes to this algorithm issue that everyone is experiencing, is that viral attitude. You have to go viral. There's a lot. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place with it, but there are a lot of things that are peeling back. There are the issues that people have to have money to push themselves forward, which, going back, Tiye, to what you were saying, those have kind of always been the thing, even with music. If you didn't have money to press your CDs or get promotion or things of that matter, then you were kind of falling behind. But that it's also happening online. That if you aren't pushing for ads, if you aren't pushing for followers and likes and stuff, you're just not going to get noticed. Then there's the going viral activity, that the more controversial you are, the more outrageous you are, the more shocking, Uranus, Aquarius you are, that you can go viral, which is giving a bad name to the algorithm, because now there's so many people trying to go viral. That may also be what you were saying, Janét, pushing things down. There may be some legit viral shit that should go viral. Right. But now there's 10,000 to choose from. So what does the algorithm choose to be the most valuable thing, or the thing that people demand that they want to see? So you're the organic person who did something that should be going viral, but then you have this idiot who jumped off a bridge wearing a banana suit to go viral, and that they've pushed that above the organic person who handmade their banana costume, and that's what they do for a living, is jump off of high buildings, but it's somebody who did it for something stupid. I believe that this Neptune going retrograde, this is actually a good conversation to have, is start peeling back what you said. What do we believe is the thing with this community of living online, of us being online, of us promoting and pushing our businesses online, of us trying to have a voice in this new society? What's real and what isn't, especially for those that really are trying to make it in this world. It's becoming you're either the consumer or you're the product. it's like California wiping out the middle class. You're either rich or you're poor. So who are you on this internet? You're either making something happen or you're the one who is the feed, the consumer of this content.
Aquarian age is for knowledge, calling all seekers of ancient wisdom and self-discovery. Myself and Marie Rousseau are thrilled to announce the launch of our new Facebook group on January 29th, 2023. This group is dedicated to maintaining the integrity of astrology and other tools of knowledge such as cardology, human design, psychology, and more. Whether you're a beginner or an expert, this group is for anyone who wants to learn more and maintain a standard of practice. So make sure that you join the Astro G ladies for engaging conversations, live events, resources, services, and more. This is an opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals, explore ideas and perspectives, and to deepen understanding of yourself and the world around you. Are you ready for astrology to get real?
I can't. What is this girl's name? Is it Krishan? Is that how I say it?
Krishan.
Thank you. Okay, before I said it, and it was like I was like, am I saying this child's name wrong? Because I feel like I'm old now. I'll see people in passing and be like, who the fuck is that? And then my daughter is like,
like when I first discovered, I'm like, who are these people?
Yes. And then my daughter was like, oh, there was this show, and that's blue. And I was like, okay, so I went down a rabbit hole.
I was gonna watch that show, but somebody had talked me out of it. But yeah, now I can go back and watch it now. Somebody did talk me out of it. They was just like, man, these bitches is too old to be doing this baddie South bullshit. And I do agree, but I do want to see how it turned out. So I'm gonna take my.
Because we're human with a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing about me is I don't know, the new me don't really be watching reality TV like that, because I just be looking at it like. I don't know. Like, I just, maybe this is my progressed Aries sun, but I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
We're definitely not arguing. You screaming at me, you gonna catch some heat. That's what you're gonna do. But we will not be arguing. I don't even like listening to like high pitched things already. So like watching.
Yeah.
How do y'all do that?
Yeah, I can't watch those types of shows like that.
How do y'all do that?
I'm joining y'all now on that, being a progressed Pisces sun now.
How does that feel for you?
Noise, lots of noise, or chaotic noise. That's just not in some kind of
I can't do it.
perceivable order of some sort where I can actually hear myself think or just hear silence. It's driving me nuts. Like I'm to the point where I don't like competing with sound. I don't want to compete with it. I want sound to flow. I want, if the fan is blowing, I want the fan to blow without a child screaming over it or Ra going off on one of his students at the same time. Like just the fan noise, one noise at a time. You know what I mean?
I feel you. And you're getting to experience Pisces in a point that I don't know, since I was born at 20 degrees? What's your degree, Erica?
I have to look. That's a good
question. It's interesting, like, is it 16, 14, something like that?
So y'all the middle end of Pisces.
I don't know. Hold on, wait.
Urka, we gonna.
I thought you knew your son degree in minute. I'm 2036.
I'm usually pretty good at the degrees. So like when I tell y'all I have. I wonder if that's because I'm going through my Saturn return right now, but like I ain't been doing astrology like that, y'all.
Well, it is an Aquarius, so it's kind of a slowdown of astrology.
Yeah, Saturn's definitely
it's like I need to definitely brush up. Hold on, give me a second.
No problem. I was just saying, Marie, that you can actually tell me stuff I haven't directly experienced, since at the 0 degree of Pisces is much different Pisces.
Oh, and that empath shit, I'm mad at y'all because I cut that shit off. I had cut it off. Being a progressed Aquarius, I literally was all like, I don't want to feel shit nobody else got going on. I just don't want to do it again.
Now, are you feeling it all?
So I cut it off. But now that it's back, I really can't help it because my natal 5th house is Pisces. So my P2 sun is shining in there.
Okay.
Activating also my Neptune conjunct Mercury in the 3rd house. So my mental and all, like I am literally getting to a point where I'm receiving people thinking and feeling. And I'm just like, I didn't want to know that about you. I'm getting information that I don't want, that I wasn't asking for. Like, you know, when they talk about the tea, I can understand why Pisces got all the tea, really, because you just information.
People just give it to you. You don't even ask for it.
You gotta try. Like they
not at all.
Start spilling it all.
People are, I can tell you my secrets, Pisces secrets, in some ways.
Like, really? And then I understand also why Pisces is probably the best secret keepers as well. Because as soon as you tell me, bruh, forget, bruh, I have no idea.
That shit, and who's gonna believe me if I tell them?
Exactly!
I be like, oh my God.
Like, telling me that type of shit. And I'll just be like the type of shit where it's like, should I go to the police? Like,
people on the bus. I've been on a bus and people have done that. I don't know people, and they always tell me they're like, it'd be shit that you'd be like, no.
It's always the bus stop, bro.
It's the degree, I swear. I'm Scorpio Decan, Scorpio Dewad. There you go, of Pisces.
Okay, I ain't gonna be at no bus stops because I'm getting enough as it is on the internet.
Younger.
Yes, avoid them.
Yeah, if I'm by myself, like anywhere, it don't matter, in public, at school, like if I'm sitting by myself, they will come over and say something. I remember I was on the phone with, I think I was on the phone with Rabina or something, and I was in the grocery store just listening to what she was saying, and this lady just walked up to me and started talking to me, telling me some shit, and she was like, did that lady really just tell you that? And she was like, no, sometimes people just be needing to talk. And I'm like, I'm glad you was on the phone when that happened, because like, when I tell people that shit happens, they don't believe me.
It happens all the time. Welcome, Marie.
You don't hear that music in the background?
I do, but it's okay. We're gonna have some light undercurrent.
Okay, I'm still gonna tell them to turn that shit.
That's okay. You can, no problem. But no, Erica, listen. That I used to think I was nuts. Same thing happens to my mom too. Pisces woman.
And that's why I'm like, I know I look crazy, but like,
no, I'm here for the bonnet.
This Neptune transit, like nobody is gonna know what that transit feels like besides Pisces people. Even if it goes in Aries and the people in Aries start feeling, they're not gonna feel it the way that we did. Like,
no,
with it being in the home of Pisces, like in its home sign, like.
I'm so tired of Neptune's ass.
Being conjunct my sun, like just all my Pisces shit had me fucked up.
For years, it's been just on my sun. And then one birthday, it was like, bitch, I'm gonna kiss you within a minute. Yes.
When I tell you I couldn't think, like, yeah, definitely, like, I already got Mercury and Pisces retrograde when it was conjunct Neptune.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had fistbowl brain. Like, I couldn't remember shit. My ass was always high. I felt like I couldn't do anything unless I was high. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And like, again, with being in my second house, I lost a lot of fucking money. Y'all, I lost a lot of fucking money during that transit, okay? Like,
I can't wait for Neptune to go into
to
Aries. Though I still don't feel like it's going to change much for me because Neptune has been transiting right by my Mars and my Venus.
Okay.
So when it comes to feeling motivated, like I literally have to fight. I feel like I have been sleepy since 2012.
I hear you.
When Neptune first got into Pisces. I feel like I have been so lethargic. And then now that I'm a progressed Pisces sun, I'm glad that adds a little bit more fire energy to my natal 5th with Mars being there. So I'm kind of breaking through, not being as exhausted. But the pull for escape is strong. The force is strong with that one. It is strong with wanting to be in bed, wanting to be high, wanting to, like, I went and got myself some rum when Pisces went in, when my progressed sun went into Pisces and shit. And I'm just like, I'm an advocate against drinking. You know, I don't really like it, you know, because I dealt with the abuse and stuff. And that's also the issue I'm experiencing being a progressed Pisces is being in one's head. Like I have to fight from being in my own fantasy. I swear I spent 2 days enjoying my dreams. I was having this fantastic just imagination moment and I wanted to stay there. So for 2 days, I was just living in my bed, laying down, not really wanting to get up because I wanted to imagine the next scene. I wanted to get to the next part of the dream. And that is some my P2 progressed to Pisces shit that I don't experience. So that was new. That was like, I mean, I'm good with dreams and but really wanting to daydream, actively pursuing the feeling of feeling great in my dream. How y'all fucking tell y'all dream to stop? Like, how do you just say I don't want it to pull? Is like,
Marie, my earth energy hates that shit. That's my life. Like the urge to dream rather than do, because you can make your dreams whatever you want them to be, like this.
And they feel so real.
Yes.
And I can feel the emotion. I could feel the energy of just every feather touch and just, you know, I was in that bitch and I couldn't
Marie in the movie with us now. She's in the movie with us now. Hi.
Hey y'all. I'm just gonna say that I need some hand holding. I know I'm gonna be fighting through this. Trying to be, especially when Saturn goes into Pisces, and that was something else that I wanted to bring up as well. I'm glad that all three of us are here today.
Yay!
All three of us have decided to do our very best because I know we're fighting currents to stay connected and to stay in the
That's why you seeing me in the bonnet, baby.
Right. To stay in communication because I know a lot of people have been cutting off their social network and their network because of the Saturn and Aquarius motion.
Yeah.
But this is my warning because, you know, hey, my name is Marie Rousseau and I am the bearer of bad news. So I'm just going to have to forewarn y'all that cutting off a complete network when Saturn goes into Pisces is dealing with complete solitude. So not everyone was needed to be cut off because Saturn is also bringing some stability to that wanting to escape, wanting to be in solitude, especially dealing with a handle. I hope that Saturn in Pisces puts a handle on mental health issues. Seriously, to the point. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. There was a woman, I don't know if it was on YouTube or something I saw, it was a YouTube short where she was basically relishing in the idea that her validation for who she was and being seen was coming from children. There's something wrong with that. There's something to say, I have to fight with adults to use the right pronouns. I have to fight with adults to recognize me for who I am. And then all of a sudden this elation, but with children, they just see me before I'm even seen. And I'm like, yo, this is something you tell your boyfriend when you're in the bed.
Yeah, that's weird.
Before I'm even seen, you understand me. Children, I don't have to tell them anything. They just understand me and they get it. And I love them because their minds are so elastic. There's a word for that. Begins with a G. You're not being accepted. You're grooming.
Yeah.
Because your mental instability to deal with adults as an adult is crushing you so much that you want to escape to children and you don't realize that that's an escape. You want something easy, so you go to the most defenseless creatures on the planet to find your easy acceptance to dealing with your mental issues because you feel so alone and disconnected from adults, but you are an adult. You know, it was no different than telling children who felt disconnected from being with children, wanting to hang out with adults all day. What did the adults say? You better learn how to deal with your peers to stay out of grown folks' business. Because this is you're trying to escape something you feel like you can't handle, but you're in that age bracket or that experience bracket where the only people who truly understand you are your age. You don't sit there and try to jump scale. I'm sick of being 20, 25, 20, 23. Let's start hanging out with some 9-year-olds, yo, because they get me. They understand me. No, they really don't. They don't, because you pay bills and your 32-year-old peer pays bills. They understand. They get that you goofy right now and you need some help. I know that sounds just bad, but the Saturn in Pisces is what I'm hoping for, is some kind of reeling in to this mental health issue that's happening with our people.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Astro G Ladies Roundtable, where we discuss astrology in a practical way so that you get a better idea of how it applies to everyday life. Please stay tuned to new episodes where we have some exciting guests going to join us on this roundtable. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post a brand new video. Peace.